Hey, everybody! No, I made sure before I punched our audio over, we were clean.
I won't apologize.
All right. How is everybody doing out there today? This is Thursday. I feel like it's been a while since I've been here. The rest of the gang has been. They never went anywhere. It was just me. I wasn't here. I'm the one that walked away. But I'm back. And I'm glad to be back in the Land Between Two Rivers and playing some D&D. And let's see how everybody's doing. Grant, how's it going, man?
Well, Jim, I've really enjoyed playing the game of Dungeons and Dragons here on WebDM's Twitch. I want you to know that I recognize your authority as a dungeon master, and I really appreciate all that you do.
Separate and different from the rest of the players, completely. I'm like, come on, guys.
You're not a player. You're a referee.
Referee. Yeah.
You are on a pedestal, omnipotent. Yes, with a capital G.
Easily. And a W.
What is going on?
You're the best.
I've just been reading people's opinions about my DMing style a lot this week, so you know how that goes. Anyway.
Are people hurting you? Do you want me to throw down? Because I would throw down.
I wouldn't wish anyone the wrath of Anna. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not even going to go that far.
Like,
but I'm not hurt. It's fine.
Mexican women, just watch out.
Yeah.
We throw down and throw a lot of chanclas.
That's true. You gotta watch out for the chanclas.
Well, for one, like I don't want to bring that kind of hurt on anybody. So I appreciate it though, and it's good to know you're in my corner.
That's right. Don't mess with Jim.
Thank you.
Girl. No hands.
Yes. Excellent. All right. So posse assembled. Grant's doing good. Lindy, how are you?
I'm doing good. And just so you know, Jim, I have friends who have a pig farm. So if you ever need anybody taken care of.
Listen, it's the whole reason I formed a D&D group is so that I could have people silently offed across the
Exactly.
It's a great squad.
Yeah,
yes.
It's a great squad.
Team Death Squad. But yeah, no, I'm doing pretty good. Fighting off a little bit of con crud, but my husband has the full-on con plague, and he went to work today. So I'm safe from the rest of that because he's gone.
Just let him carry it all across the land.
Yep, it'll be fine. But yeah, excited to be back, excited to play.
Excellent. TK, how's it going?
It's going well. I'm TK. I'm scared of jail, and I will support you emotionally from afar.
I appreciate it. We need somebody on the outside to get us out from the jail.
I'm not putting any money in your commissary either, so
that's all right. I got it all set up ahead of time. I just need you there with the car.
You just need to go to the pickup point.
You know I can't drive, right?
Okay.
Emotional.
Okay, we'll details later. Having a great time.
Excellent. That's great. And Anna, you've hopefully calmed down or saving your rage for Ellie. But yes. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm gonna save the little rage, my baby rage, for Ellie for sure. But I'm doing great. I had some food. I'm still really hungry, but I'm excited to be with your beautiful faces and chat's beautiful faces that I can't see, but I can guarantee you're all beautiful. Don't at me.
Please don't.
We're all rage.
No reason to matter. Excellent. And Josh, how's it going, brother?
It's going pretty good, honestly, all things considered. Feeling pretty good. Frisky, fresh, ready to go. Sorry, just move on. I'm going to drink my rum and Coke in silence.
All right, excellent. So yes, before we get started, remind everybody that our show is brought to you in part by Tabletop Loot. They're a sponsor of ours, and we are happy to pass on to you a discount with the code WebDM15. Go and check them out. They got all kinds of dice accessories. They're constantly getting new stuff in. So if you need that kind of thing, we're in the long drought between holidays, and sometimes you need that pick-me-up. You know, you got to get that endorphin rush from getting a new thing, just a little bitty thing. Get some dice for yourself. Cheer yourself up. Anyway, last time we were all able to play together, the group had finished up the second phase of a rather large battle as the devils who had taken over the village of Ghost Top fended off the nearby hobgoblins who were attempting to drive them out. The party engaged in various adventures and escapades around this particular battle, including attempting to corrupt and subvert a ritual to turn a celestial into a fiend, as well as engaging in like all sides of the battle. Where did the loyalties lie? What was going on? I had to draw a picture of it just to even figure it all out. So we had left as the angel sort of attempting to break free of the spell that was being woven around it, instead burned itself up to a crisp, and as that was happening, was plane shifted to heaven by a sort of an underhanded use of a cubic gate from Myrrh. And then Gildan managed to rock his roll of 4 on Divine Intervention, and Baba Yaga opened a gate to the sewers of hell, as is her wont, and fulfilled the promise that Gildan's been making for a while to flood the wasteland, as it was flooded with a bunch of hellish sewer water, and an army of fish devils and other sorts of grotesque croc people and the like that live in the sewers of Dis arrived to save the day and swing the tide of battle in favor of the devils. And it is there, as the party is packing up and getting ready to depart. The night is over. The army that has been vanquished is partially scattered to the hills, but many prisoners have been taken, and the village of Ghost Hop is just abuzz with activity as the aftermath of the battle settles in. So that is where we'll pick up. I'm gonna assume everybody's sort of like at the skiff. You're inside like the village proper, where most of the sort of the action around the ritual took place. But other than that, you don't really, there's none of the like major commanders that are around you. Most of them are out doing something else. There's a lot of prisoners. And of course, many of the ritualists who were with Myrrh are also kind of just trying to put their heads together to figure out what happened. And so that is
I submitted my report, so
there many of them are sort of like filing over it. The lead ritualist, Ertzar, he's kind of like, listen, I'm done. My contract's over. And a lot of what he's trying to do is be like, listen, I tried. What do you want me to do? So that seems like to be the tenor of their conversation, is he's trying to say like, I'm not doing this. Was the sort of the guy that was all done up like Liberace, sort of like tiefling.
Yes.
It's like just ostentatious. And that's sort of what you can overhear at the quartermaster's hut. But yeah, we'll pick it up there and see where we go. So y'all were packing up to leave. Are y'all still planning on heading north to the city of Ghouls?
yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were.
Okay. That was, I think, the last time we talked about that. Was I think everybody said.
I think Mer wanted to swing by. No, she'll give the drow some time to cool off first. She did what she said she was going to do, and she stopped the ritual. It was up to them to defeat the demons.
It's true.
I did stop the ritual.
Mer, if anything, it at least fulfills the letter of her promises.
Exactly.
I have a question.
Minimum requirement.
Yeah.
Are my followers still following me?
Which ones? The imps?
Yes. I want at least 5, and here's how I want them to take me to the skiff. I want an imp to grab my arm, another one to grab my other arm, and one to grab each leg, and then one to kind of hold my back, and I want them to fly me to the skiff and lower me in, and then I want them to cradle around me like a bunch of puppies that are come to the mother dog, and it's just kind of like, come my warm babies, and like they just kind of nuzzle up.
I'm assuming you still have the 6 of them.
Yeah.
Still, any of them died or anything. They don't have their meat suits anymore. I think that's probably. But they can sort of pick you up and fly you around. But
yeah, just kind of carry me over to the skiff. There.
They seem super anxious to leave as well. Like the 6 of them are already like packed up. They've got like little hobo packs, and they're like ready to. Looking around, ready to leave.
I hope they're all like secretly like Myrrh's nephews or something like that. Auntie Myrrh.
I don't know Myrrh. gonna roll some dice. Gildan is being borne onto the skiff by his new followers. How about somebody else? Somebody else have where their characters out?
There's a lot more fiends around here than Denizens really super comfortable with.
There's a lot more since the gate was opened.
Mm-hmm,
You shouldn't be racist, Ninizen. They're just people. It's true. They're different species, and he's not comfortable around them.
Okay. Sure.
Is that true?
Yeah.
You're just not comfortable around them, or is it more that just that they're fiends?
Well, yeah. Yeah.
These are lawful. Don't prejudice against them. They're
Law
good.
is it's not always in the right.
Are y'all having this like debate near the skiff? That's Gildan's being flown around.
As they're hoisting me
Sure.
in.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, so is this, are you voicing any of these concerns in a sense, or are you more just like on edge because there's a bunch of like devils?
They might be a little hesitant to use their telepathic abilities, but I think in this instance they would. So I think they're having this conversation with Gildan privately, as it were.
Okay.
Ostensibly.
I don't do private in front of my followers.
All of them are telepathic.
If you have an issue, if you do have an issue, and you tell me your issue, and you tell me your concern, we can make sure these imps sign contracts that they don't.
Yeah, they're
I think here in the land between two rivers, we all got to stick together. It's true.
Very good.
Right.
That's very astute. The imps, of course, are following. I mean, if you're having this conversation telepathically, they're not following it. But if any mention of signing something, they're all sort of like, "Yeah, I mean, we need to sign our." They first off, they produce their own paperwork, and it's like a release form. You accept custody of them and responsibility for them in exchange.
Oh gosh,
for,
I'm gonna have to end up paying their college tuition. This is.
They are thick too,
Yeah.
right? Like they're like a small county phone book. So that's part. It's all it's the only thing in
Now, if
there.
it's
People
telepathic,
really
I'll
need
let you say what you. If you're talking telepathically, you can tell me what you got to say. But
I spoke in my mind.
You don't trust them, the devils.
I don't. Yeah, I don't trust fiends.
I'll ask you back. Who do you trust?
Very few people.
That very few is not a specific person. I need specific individuals.
Ellie, Icky,
Well, since you don't trust me, why should I trust you? The first thing you learn is you give someone your trust and they learn to trust you back. So if you don't trust me, I don't have much of a reason to trust you. This is game theory from the psychologist Piaget.
Okay.
Children's social trust games. If I am not trusted, then I cannot return trust.
Okay.
I trust you, though, Ninizen. So would it help you to earn your trust by doing something that demonstrates that I trust you?
No.
Okay, then come on, imps. Cuddle up. That was your chance.
Yeah. He's got a lot of reasons not, or they've got a lot of reasons not to trust Gildan. Yeah.
That's fair, but
This is just like another one.
you have to remember it's those power dynamics. If Gildan has to trust everyone, but no one trusts him, then he won't return trust.
Cool.
All right. So
imps
you guys
trust him.
sort of like leave it at that for the moment. Where's everybody else? Like, I'm curious where like where's Ellie?
So Ellie is still super kind of starstruck from that demon thing that talked to her, and that was like, "Oh, I loved your fighting, and you're so cool." And Ellie was like, "Thanks, you're so cool too." So she's just like totally starstruck with that, and then she's just observing like every demon or like fiend around. She's just like, "Wow, they're amazing."
There's a lot of them now, like particularly with that second gate. It seemed like there was a big mass of them that came out when it first opened, but nothing new has emerged in quite a while.
Mhm.
So there are more fiends here, although a lot of them are like aquatic type. They're like gross fish devil sort of things.
Is the gate still open?
It is still open, yeah, but nothing's come out of it for at least let's say 4 hours. But Arbros is down outside the village, and you see him like he looks like he's taking care of processing all the prisoners.
Mhm.
Is what he's doing. So he's towers over everything. He's big and imposing, easy to see.
How far is that from me or Ellie?
If you were like mounted, like a minute. Otherwise, just a couple minutes walk from the village.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Ellie's gonna be starstruck by these fish demons. And are there any fish demons around him?
Sort of. None of them have been allowed in the village yet.
Okay.
And they've mostly kept to themselves. And many of them have just like, there was a dry lake bed right near the village, and most of it's filled up with this hellish sewer water. And a lot of them just like went there, and we're just like, yeah, otherwise it's a desert. They're drying out. So that's where most of like the fish devils are.
Mm-hmm.
This new lake that's formed.
Ellie approaches one of these fish devils.
Okay.
Hi.
Kind of like, gosh, all right, give me a second. It's all like bug-eyed and like fished out. And what languages does Ellie speak?
Ellie speaks Common, Draconic, and Goblin.
Okay. It replies in it when what you would recognize as Infernal, and seems just sort of like kind of, Murloc-esque. There you go, like that. With a top hat.
That's nice.
Smiley.
I don't think you speak any of the languages that I speak, but I just want to say that you look really cool, and I hope you have a lot of hydration, because it's not a very good place to walk around, especially if your thing is like water and stuff.
Yeah, it just shakes its fist at the sun and tries to stay hydrated. Yeah.
I burned my arm once by staying in the sun too long, and now look. And she like puts her sleeve up, and like now it's red. So just watch out.
It sort of like just seems angry about that, and like maybe you can't tell if it has a nose or anything, but it's like leans forward.
You can smell it if you want.
Needle.
It doesn't smell like anything. It just smells like skin.
And it's more of them are starting to come out from the depths of the lake and are sort of like crowding around where you are right now.
Yeah, Ellie sits down for sure.
Okay.
For like story time, telling them about her battles and how she almost died, and like how cool her dad is and how cool her moms are.
You're like acting parts of it out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
She like takes out her great axe and she's like, yeah. And then I looked at the thing and then I whacked it. Oh man, you should have been there. There was so much blood. It was really cool.
They're all. I mean, you don't get the impression they're like following you, but they're following the action. It's kind of like that scene in what was it, Return of the Jedi, where like all the Ewoks are like, oh my god, but they don't really know what's going on. It's kind of like that. As they sort of follow this narrative from Ellie. You can give me a charisma check on that. If you have performance, you can use that as well.
Sure. I don't think I have proficient. I'm not proficient in performance.
Mm-hmm.
That is an 8.
Okay.
Oh yes. Yeah.
They sort of like they like initially are like super into it, and like every time there's like an action scene or something, they're like all about it. But in the lulls between those, you can tell that they're just sort of like they're here for the axe fighting. And
she does. She notices this, and she does a lot more axe fighting. Like if there's a rock or a piece of wood, she'll totally chop it. Like
they love that.
With maybe I could roll like an athletics check or acrobatics. It's a nat 20. I do like a backflip, and then I like go whack. It's like should have been there.
Yeah. There's a big cheer that kind of comes up. They all seem to go nuts. Some of them start fighting with each other just in the enthusiasm of the whole thing.
Yeah.
You don't get the impression that they're particularly intelligent. They seem very animalistic to you, although they clearly have a language
Mhm.
So Ellie is down by the lakeshore, and anybody anybody follow? Anybody notice? What are Hickey and Mur up to?
Icky has like noticed that Ellie is very like acting very independently lately. So Icky actually kind of just gives her a little bit of space, but she is gonna spy on her.
What's Mur up to?
Well, Mer already submitted her report and her paperwork, so she is just getting the skiff ready to go. Getting ready to GTFO.
Icky goes through the motions of helping her get the skiff ready, but like just like dead eyes staring at her the whole time.
Oh, and Mer's definitely like dirty looks at Ellie's new friend. She doesn't approve at all. She's like, have to take care of him.
Where's Axe Streamer?
He's helping load the skiff and just get everything ready. He seems quiet. Hasn't really said anything.
I don't want to hear from him. I'm mad at him.
Why are you mad at him?
I don't have a reason, but I'm also a mom, so I don't need one.
That's true.
He'll slip up.
He'll slip up.
He'll slip up. I'll be ready.
Yeah, he's like, of all the people, he trusts Icky the most, though. Like,
moms are immune to guilt, so
there's he's doing his thing, right? Like, he's got his new horse. He's packing up the skiff, but is definitely like in the same mode. Like, we got to get out of here. Like,
Yeah.
he seems uncomfortable.
GTFO prep.
So there's this sound, you're sort of like not arguing, but just sort of a heated conversation going on between the ritualists.
I'm definitely trying to drop eaves on that though, while I nonchalantly GTFO.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a perception check for that.
Oh, okay. That's not going to be great. Let's see. Perception. Oh, better than I thought. Okay, that'll be a 13.
So it's the snippets that you catch. It's sort of like the Mahabran, that grotesque fiend who's one of the ritualists there, is basically trying to like argue with Erzar that this is all your fault kind of thing, and trying to pin it on him, and he's not having it. He seems like he's really good about it, arguing as well. Like, he's just running circles around this devil.
Perfect. Just how I want them. Yes. Blame each other.
Okay.
Not the person who pointed it out.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, they were all too stupid to notice that what was happening anyway, so.
That's true. There'll be an inquisition opened. There's a rumor running through the camp as you are finished putting the finishing touches on your packing, that the oligarchs of Dis have initiated a lawsuit against Duke Phimius, and currently that both sides of the infernal factions have lawyered up, and that until they have resolved this, the portals are off limits. And they are being that's sort of the rumor that's
closed borders. Basically, they're blocking the harbor. Perfect. The Fellowship will be thrilled to hear this.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, no, don't worry, they're on lockdown right now. Fine. Nothing's gonna be coming through for a while. These legal proceedings take forever.
Yeah.
They're doing themselves. It's fine.
That's great.
Other than Ellie being absent, it appears as though the group is ready to go.
All right. Ellie, it's time to go.
You see her like stuff her face with like a couple of fried crickets. What?
We are leaving.
Bye, friends.
As they go, and as you turn to leave, Ellie, you notice that like Abros is close at hand, not like right there with you, but he's clearly like positioned himself. He's be on your way back to the village.
Okay. Before going back to my squad, she's definitely going to stop with him again.
Mhm.
Be like, did you get prisoners and stuff?
Yes, they are being subjugated. And they are. It's not a pretty sight.
I don't know what that word means, but okay.
They're punished for their insolence. Broken.
Okay. Well, don't go too hard on them. Definitely maybe give them some food and water because it's very hot.
Yes.
Also, make sure you're eating well because, you need to be healthy. Are you drinking enough water?
He seems like genuinely taken aback by Elizabeth. I require little sustenance to sustain me.
Okay, well, the little that you do need, just don't forget to eat or drink. What is your favorite food?
Modron hearts.
What is a modron?
It's a thing. Like a construct.
Ellie looks very confused at all this. She still doesn't get it. She's like, well, if I find any, I'll make sure to bring you some.
They're really settle your nerves.
Okay, well, it was nice seeing you. And she kind of goes for a hug, and she'll wait to see if he gives a hug back.
He hugs my nuts or he's dead.
He mistakes it for an aggressive wrestling move.
Yeah.
But
That's weird.
He sort of comes in close and then realizes, Ellie, you're unlike any mortal I have ever met. I feel compelled to share something with you.
Go on.
He cranes his neck around. It's just my promotion is at hand. If I had only one chance to prove myself, I would become eligible for entry into the pit. Call upon me, and I will perform great deeds.
Okay.
He looks around and seems super different. There's something about his whole posture and everything seems just vulnerable.
I noticed this.
Stands up straight and is you see the whole exchange.
Oh yeah, eagle eyes.
I love it.
Okay. Does that mean I need to help you with your promotion?
I require no assistance.
Of course you don't. I was just asking.
Opportunity to fight alongside you.
Okay. That could be arranged. I heard there was a really weird flood, so I hope you could swim. Other than that probably means that there's going to be another huge battle. But if I run into any problems that I could probably not get out of, I'll let you know.
Acceptable.
High five.
Woo!
His giant scaled hand. And you're gonna see all this exchange. This happens maybe halfway between her walk back from the shore to the village. So there was time if you could hurry to get closer, but otherwise you guys would just witness the exchange and anything else before y'all leave. You're right. This is how you get tieflings.
Yeah.
I would like to pick up an extra bottle of Purell so I can sanitize my innocent child's hand.
Oh, that's adorable.
Oh my God.
Prestidigitation.
That's adorable.
Okay, bye. And I run back, and then the moms are probably scrubbing my face and my
Oh,
hand.
Mur is just sharpening monomolecular dagger on the front porch of the skiff as she's looking down at this punk.
I think your knife is pretty sharp now.
Yes. Thank you for pointing that out to me. I just got carried away with my sharpening.
That happens, I think.
Yes. It does sometimes. Let's go.
You should sharpen your own axe, Ellie, inside the skiff.
It's probably good idea, yeah. She like gets in the skiff, takes it out, and like
You did slaughter a lot of people. It just needs a good sharpening, a good long sharpening.
Like, the hut goes like totally opaque.
Yes, 100%.
So everybody's assembled. The skiff is ready, all packed. Y'all head out?
Yep.
That looks like a yes for everybody. All right. As you leave behind Ghost Top with its considerable death and destruction that was reached last night, you find yourselves on the sort of open plains, or rather the dusty plains, that lie just north of this rocky outcropping that surrounds the lake that is near Ghost Top. So sort of like skirt around that, and then it's pretty much a straight shot to Ghoul Town. The city of Ghouls. If you could, give me a moment to just gather my thoughts. It'll take a little over a day. So is that where y'all are headed? You're going to go somewhere else? What's the?
We're gonna go drop off Gildan.
Okay.
I have a question. Nani? Was he flirting with Ellie?
He was like, it wasn't a flirt, like a romantic flirt. It was like a,
It was a friendship flirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
In his devilish way. It was just kind of like, listen, you'd be really doing me a solid if you called upon me so I could like get that bump I need to get that promotion.
Yeah. Okay.
Not like
Because
romance.
Cat is all like,
That's so cute.
you just asked her out on a date. And I
No,
was
no,
like,
not on a date. Like, well,
Okay.
a fighting date, like a platonic fighting date.
Whoever knows,
Yes,
that's how it
okay.
starts.
Oh yeah.
That's
Well,
true.
there's
yeah.
many ways that tieflings can come about
Her
it.
mom's a succubus. She's heard all the stories.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ellie doesn't judge.
To do battle. It's fine. No, it's not fine. We're not. Mm-mm.
She just doesn't know what flirting is.
Yeah. No, this was not. He was not flirting. He's just awkward
Okay.
at doing anything friendly.
Okay, awesome. Perfect. Go on. Carry on. Sorry.
No, that's good. Thanks for asking. I wanted to be clear about it.
I think in Icky and Mer's eyes, he was definitely flirting, and that's yeah.
Oh yeah. And he did not.
He does not trust fiends, hands down.
No, they're not a suitable match.
Get
for
your
Ellie.
brain words out of my child's head.
He has no problem meeting y'all's glares. You know. He's
The last thing he sees. It's fine.
I
Oh,
just like watch each other.
I do not care if he is surprised when he dies.
That's an attitude. That's a good one. Traveling northward, there is, like I said, it's broken sandy desert, punctuated by occasional rocky outcroppings. If there's no other sort of stops or anything like that, you'll get there pretty quickly. Anything y'all are wanting to do along the way, or that the characters are thinking or anything?
I'm working with the imps to draft the first imps' rights proposal, because I think they shouldn't be looked down upon by the other devils. I think we got to break up some of this, some of the traditional hierarchy and replace it with a newer, more modern law system.
Ooh, okay, so you're trying to get them on board to like shake up the hierarchy.
Particularly in certain principalities, locations, villages, towns, realms, plains.
If we do, they're all just like, if we do that, then it'll just be pure chaos.
No, it won't be chaos. It will be. See, and I explained to them how you got to live right on that border between order and chaos, and or you'll stagnate. You'll stagnate. So we need to keep the devils alive. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that in certain plains, principalities, and local governments, the imps have certain rights protected, and that they are free to live their best lives.
Every time they look over Gildan's shoulder while Gildan's talking about this, Mer's just like,
Yeah, they're kind of agitated by it, but give me a persuasion roll to see.
Darn right I will.
Because it's
So-
like, there's merit to what Gildan's saying, but they're not as soaked in law and evil as, say, a pit.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me check what my modifier is, but I rolled a 19. So plus
Oh.
3, 22.
22. There is their protests become less insistent over the course of the thing. You don't think you've like won them over fully, but you made a good argument, and you left them with something to chew on, because at the end of it, they're sort of like, the guy, maybe one of them is like, but wait, what if he's right? Kind of deal.
And I am. These devils are bound by laws decreed on heaven and in earth and the hells below. And that's why you can like planar bind devils and things like that. They are bound to work based upon the precepts of the divine law that's been decreed since forever. So if we can make some modifications to those laws, I'm telling you, this ends with me rewriting a few pages in the Codex of Infinite Planes. That's right. Golden's new goal.
That's how good. Yeah, but Gildan does earn a nickname from them, in which they call him Gildan Fence Sitter, as they're just like, you just want us to like, sometimes we're this way and sometimes we're that way. There's one of them who's like super like neckbeardy about it, and is all just like, this is not even, you can't even make me do that. Like this. That's
okay. I've nicknamed him Waddles.
Like, it's
and all the other imps call him that.
Power over all of us, that kind of thing.
Look, it's okay if you're weaker than your siblings. The rest tend to their vocal lessons, because they are going to know the entire score to the Muppets Take Manhattan by the end of the skiff ride. Somebody's getting married. When you like prance about. No.
So the skiff's kind of a small place. What's everybody else doing?
The Mimicin is in a deep meditative state, his sword on his lap, and kind of off on his own. Although, again, off on their own. He's
sure.
They're probably like 2 feet from the nearest person, but mentally off on their own.
Off on their own, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have, well, maybe not Nizizen, but Niz is getting used to it, I guess. But I think everybody maybe has like learned to deal with the confines of the skiff, because it's like the bed of a pickup truck. Or big enough to hold the layman's tiny hut. So it's maybe a bit bigger than that.
It's like the Jabba the Hutt skiff. You can
fit that's right.
Some people, but not a ton of people.
Yeah. So you can get like some privacy, some and the like. But yeah. Let's see there. Axe Streamer is riding its horse for a while, and keeping up as best he can. And anybody else do anything special or
Mer's just organizing her thoughts so that way they don't surface later, because sure. That can be dangerous. So he's filing everything away.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking I might contact what's his name, Mimnim. That's who I'm off to go meet.
Mm-hmm.
There's some people for me to meet up in.
Yeah, he contacted you.
Is Mimnon up this way?
Yeah,
I believe he's in the city.
Yeah,
I would love to meet this man again.
That's one of the few reasons Mer agreed. She's like, I like Memnon.
Yeah, he was basically like, if you come up here, you would be, it wouldn't be a bad idea. It wouldn't be a bad idea. All right. Other than that, doesn't sound like anybody else is doing anything in any particular significance as you travel. Yeah. So this is a moment. I'm curious both what the players think. As a DM, I've kind of like grappled with this a bit, because Mer has no less than 4 different groups that she's currently like reporting to, spying for, and playing off each other. And rather than send Mer a deluge of sending spells, animal messengers, and all kinds, do you imagine like Mer is just like constantly pinged by magic?
Oh yeah, completely.
Mer's imp appears at some point during the trip, probably during the height of the singing, and is just sort of like, one of those like you notice that it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pardon me, keep driving, I'll just talk, don't worry about anything.
No problem. I can multitask. It's fine.
That's great. I took the liberty of intercepting some messages for you. I hope you don't mind. I was given this authority by an unnamed, well, you know who. And listen, I can read them. I can summarize it for you. I can read them to you, however you like. I'm here to help you.
Just read. Summaries. You can miss some crucial words.
Understand entirely. All right.
I do things to the letter.
The first one that he pulls out, he produces some sort of small rodent type creature that you
Fellowship.
and he just starts he sort of like looks at it, squeaks at it in its presumably its language, and then I'm assuming that you can understand this, otherwise I would have to translate, but this particular creature here says that at your soonest convenience to make a report to the fellowship, and that also they're concerned about some rumors that they'd heard about an angel and devils and the like and a flooding. They wanted you to clarify and help them calm down everybody. Is that right? And he squeezes the rat thing. If you have the ability to speak with animals or anything like that.
I do not.
Okay.
I am not nature oriented at all.
I don't know if anybody does. Maybe Gildan might.
I
Well,
do.
no, Gildan does, because you have the Helm of Comprehending Languages. Yeah,
And
the
animal
rats.
friendship.
Yeah, the rats is basically like saying what
The animal messenger, yeah.
Animal Messenger is. Yeah, the rat thing. And so, all right. Well, now that that's out of the way, personally, well, I'll get to it in just a minute. If you didn't know already, currently the lawyers for the oligarchs of Dis have sued Duke by me, as he's, of course, countersued back. The whole thing's tied up. No one's allowed to use any of the portals. However, that does not absolve you of the responsibility to infiltrate the Duke's court and destabilize it.
Of course. I assume with the suing going on, destabilizing would be a bit easier than it would be previously. And I have fulfilled my obligation in partaking in the ritual and fulfilling my contract to the letter. Therefore, I am no longer entwined with Duke Phimius in that regard.
Oh, certainly. He doesn't seem to think so, and has sent you a message as such, requiring that you visit him at your soonest convenience. And present a report of what happened at Ghost Top in person, as he seems to be pretty upset about it. But
It's a shame the portals aren't allowed to be traveled through right now.
indeed.
Quite a shame.
And well, that's all I have right now for you. But I just wanted to let you know, between you and me, you know, this fellowship business, it concerns certain interested parties. And I'd like to see you break faith with the group at your as you see fit. Now, I can't tell you what to do. That's not my position or anything.
Of course.
Maybe you listen to him or something.
I shall consider this. My main intent is to, well, break the group rather than break faith. But one takes a bit more time than the other.
Certainly. Like I said, just want to put it in your ear. I'll be around if you need me.
All right.
And with
Keeps
that,
driving.
it sort of disappears. During this entire exchange, the other imps that were in there seem to just mad dog this one. Like the 6 of them are just like, it's like as they seem to really not like Mercy.
Well, I
Because
just gotta
mine's
scold them.
competent. It's fine.
What was that from
No, I have to scold them. I gotta let them know they're allowed to feel that way, but they can't show it on their face. They gotta learn how to keep a poker face up at all times. And I'm like, look at Mer. She probably feels the same way. Maybe. You never know.
You never know.
You've got to be emotionless, and you've got to learn as imps. You can't always stick your tongue out on things you don't like. If you're going to be respectable in this society, you got to start.
Teaching right.
Teaching them right. Raise them right.
Little devil baby's got to learn.
They're setting a bad example for the little one.
For Ellie's baby.
Ellie.
Yeah. Forgot if there was 7.
Yeah, I think while this is going on, Mer is going to mage hand on the side of the skiff while she's driving. Mage hand start writing replies to the things. Yeah.
Right. The day continues hot and dry, and the imps are annoying at first, but then eventually they get bored and will want to start flying around and doing other things. They seems difficult for them to control themselves, and without a firm hand, that is. And at some point after midday, as you're traveling, you hear Axe Dreamer shout something. None of you understand what it is. Gildan understands it as just a holy shit, like it can't be. And you see him, he's taking off on his mount towards something that's on like to the west of where you're traveling. Looks like maybe a rocky outcropping or something, or perhaps a ruin. And he's traveling pretty fast for it.
Axe Streamer is?
Mhm.
Well, he can't go off and die. He's promised.
Cast darkness and pin it to his head. He won't know where he's running. That'll slow him down.
He's got a round to he's about
Yeah.
down range.
I'm gonna follow with the skiff. Just
Okay.
just do like
Mhm.
slide in the skiff.
Yeah, he's making his way towards the closer you look at it, it looks like some kind of ruin.
What is it, Axe Bekroithik? That's right. She's the one who calls him by his freaking.
If he heard you, he's not answering.
I could suggest he slowed down, but then I don't save it. Just follow.
All right.
Catch up. I could easily catch up in the skiff, so I'm just gonna be
Yeah.
like, nyeh.
He is making his way towards what looks to be a ruined arch of some kind.
Okay.
It appears like it's like where it's lying now in this sort of like
Is
rocky
it flush
hill.
sideways? Sorry.
Yeah, it's more like it looks like an L sort of tipped on its side, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
partially either collapsed or buried.
Alright.
There's broken masonry all around. Much of it is weathered. But he dismounts and takes off his helmet and is just kind of like, I don't know, it's maybe one of the, after like, apart from like the first time that you met him, it's sort of like, this is the only time he's ever really displayed just sort of like a, this isn't happening kind of moment.
Thinks he's dreaming again.
Because he's just sort of like staring at this arch and he's sort of like slack, his shoulders are slumped, and he's just kind of, seems like he's having trouble dealing with something.
Can I make a history check to see if I know anything about this arch
Sure,
or
yeah.
these ruins?
Mhm.
Or like the type of carvings that are on them or something?
Sure.
Okay, that's not bad. Oh, I'm good at history. Okay, 18.
Yeah, you know, I think it's a fair bit. You know that this is a ruin from one of the pre-darkness humans.
Okay.
I mean, this style of ruin is all over this part of the northern wastes.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, it's, I mean, the details on it, you're not particularly
Yeah.
clear on.
Okay.
But you know, this is one of the like a monument or a ruin or something from one of the larger human kingdoms.
Okay. She's gonna kind of walk over to Bekroithik then and be like, do you recognize this place?
We do. So it marks the we're not far from the capital, if that's what I think it is.
The capital of where you used to live?
Yes. It's and he sort of like points at one of the worn, weathered relief
Mhm.
figures on the arch. It's just I recognize that one there. That's a well, it's not important now. But yeah, it's not this city that we're going to, is it?
Well, it is a very old city we are going to. Perhaps it is still is somewhat intact, though very different than I imagined how you must remember it.
Yeah, I always you know, I didn't really recognize. All right.
Done.
All right. And he's just like seemingly just sort of like broken, just sort of like follows Myrrh with
Yeah,
that.
she'll kind of just keep her
shoulder.
hand on his shoulder and kind of guide him in. Be like,
Okay.
I'm assuming being in stone for a few thousand years is a bit of a shock.
Yeah, I mean, you spent enough time with him to
Yeah.
know that there's all sorts of parts of his brain that are missing, and he's usually pretty honest about the stuff he doesn't remember or things that hurt him. But yeah, however long he was in there, he didn't come out unscathed from that.
Yeah. So she'll kind of, because she does like him. She doesn't want to admit it, but she does like him. So she'll make sure he's comfortable and like in the shade and give him some water. Here, drink this. You must be feeling a bit hot.
While this is going on, what's everybody else doing? Is anybody? I'm specifically interested if anybody's like on lookout or just like keeping an eye on things.
I think Ellie's probably very concerned because he's never really shown. He's not shown that kind of expression about certain things.
Yeah.
But she's just gonna look at this weird place, and then she's gonna kind of keep a lookout, but not as much because she's confused about what they're talking about.
Yeah. You can make me a perception check for Ellie then. Anybody else like looking out or doing anything like that? Or just what are y'all doing during all this?
Icky is kind of like secretly practicing her new druid powers, and so she's like practicing wild shaping, but only like her hands and stuff.
Nice.
But she's never been able to transform into another creature before, like besides her amulet powers.
Yeah, so she's like exploring that.
So
Yeah.
Gildan is casting Arcane Eye and floating it around, just kind of in the area. Just fly it up, it can go up 100 feet and just kind of look around and
Okay. All right, so you got that going. Then make me a perception check as well. Then
I got a 19.
19.
great at those.
And then how about Ninizen? What are they up to?
They haven't come out of their sleep yet.
Okay. So all right. And then so 19 for Ellie, and then how about for Gildan?
18 from the high vantage.
So the two of you both see that there is something flying from the south in your direction very fast.
Am I able to make out anything more specific than a something? Is it winged? Is it large? Is it?
So as you guys kind of give it time, it appears as like a little dot, almost like a triangle.
Okay.
Or something. And then as it gets closer, flying pretty fast, it appears serpentine and winged and large. Is what it looks like.
Woohoo! No.
It looks more like a. It's not a cloud, but it has the ephemeralness of a cloud. But is instead like a deep like midnight blue, where the sun hits it. You can tell it has like kind of sheen to it. It's flying very quickly. You'll be able to get more details pretty soon. And then Ellie, of course, sees the same thing.
Yeah, there's something coming this way.
It's now headed for y'all's direction. It like changed course and is now headed right
Just
for
kidding.
you.
We gotta hunt
It's
it
going the
down.
other way.
I want a flying dragon mount. This is gonna be awesome. Let's tame the beast.
Get it?
Before we get back onto the skiff, Merg is gonna make take a mental picture of that relief he specifically pointed out.
Okay. All of you can see it now. It's very close. It's probably less than a mile away. And it's like
not flying directly at us.
it is. It was
Oh,
originally it was kind of like flying sort of in your direction.
Oh,
Then it got a certain point and it's turned and it's headed right towards you.
I'm gonna go in a different direction in case it's like, let's just go to these ruins and ignore these people.
Okay. So it's all kind of like it's coming in pretty fast as you're getting in and getting ready to move. Is anybody doing anything like about it? It hasn't attacked or anything.
Aside from moving,
Sorry.
getting ready to move it, I'm just gonna be ready to cast like rewind time in case this goes real bad.
Okay. All right. So preparing that, it is close enough that you can tell it has a rider on it.
Ooh.
Okay.
Rider.
Yeah.
Ooh.
At this distance, you'd need to make a perception check to see details, but you can always just wait a little bit and get a clearer picture.
I'm gonna pull up my spyglass.
Okay.
I
Anybody
was
else?
gonna wait.
Wait.
I have a few things I can do. I can
That's
enhance
really
my
good.
senses, and I can do other things.
I mean,
totally
your
forgot.
arcane eyes up there still.
Yeah,
21.
I've been making I've been making those imps carry me around. I totally forgot I had winged boots and I can just fly around. Yeah.
It's Erzar, the tiefling from the Ghost Talk.
Ah. Well, that's interesting. I still am getting ready for rewind time. Like, oh, maybe he was looking for us. How quaint and charming.
Mm-hmm. Do you let anybody else know that?
Yeah, I'll tell them who it is. Like, I think someone might be looking for us from where we just were. The really uppity one.
It looks like it lands a little over 100 feet away from you.
Joy.
Dismounts. And seems as though he's not like dismounts this thing that it's been flying on. Doesn't appear to have legs or anything like that. It appears like a colossal ephemeral snake with these like smoke that it has. And he seems to like just be approaching you. He's dressed in different clothing. He's not in his ritual.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be aggressive.
No, does not seem to be aggressive at all. Seems like super cash and is just blinged out in his silks and is just
Yeah, Merle, throw on an extra silk scarf.
Did we like him?
I think I was really talking.
Well, Merle talked to him.
Talk to him, yeah.
Yeah, she was. I will briefly discuss with him. He doesn't seem to be aggressive, so I don't see the need to start anything. But if you see me start something, please back me up. I don't intend on starting anything.
Yeah, Ellie squints her eyes, like suspicious, and then she kind of looks behind, like around to see if there's anybody else.
Yeah, he seems by himself.
I'll approach him, like to meet him halfway, like the 50-foot mark, you know.
He, excuse me. He shouts out to Mer, "I did not know you were coming this way. I should have said something. We could have traveled together."
Oh, what a coincidence. I did not know you were traveling this way either.
There's rumors of a great demon that lives north of here who has powerful magic. You must see it.
Oh, it is something I'm not a huge fan of demons, but piqued my curiosity.
I'm tired of devils. They're so... well, take no offense, please, but the pencil pushers and for the little.
I need a break from pencil pushing every now and then.
So you would,
it's
Mer
so
would know.
monotonous.
Mer would know that Erzar is not of any of the infernal lineages.
Okay.
That he's more of what, like, you might not even think of him as a tiefling. That's up to you.
Gotcha.
He's clearly like maybe an abyssal or just like like from just some like a Garolith or a Farastu somewhere.
Okay.
He's a second edition tiefling.
He's a second edition.
The real ones.
Terzi tiefling.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You can't trust those. They're not lawful. No.
You don't know what they are.
Right.
Exactly. That's why she doesn't like it.
But he's about 20 feet away from you. He's not doing anything that would make it seem like
we were just taking a pit stop to view the old ruins, see how the architecture compares to that of the city the demons supposedly taken over.
Yes, it's he looks at the arch. Tragic.
Big fan of architecture, so hobby.
Yes, please. Problem with the working for the Infernals is all the formality. Call me Jaja. It would be a pleasure if you would.
Sorry, Jaja, well, you may call me Mer.
Excellent. And he looks behind you. Would you introduce me to your friends?
Of course. She will kind of just walk over and be like, everyone, this is Jaja, this is Iki, Ellie, Ninizan, Bekroithik, and Gildan.
Head begins to glow with a continual flame, turns stone.
And he's like,
"Oh, he better not touch me."
I must, please. You're so that gate, perfect.
You may leave a cushion of air. All right.
Brushes it just lightly. Right. Yeah, no, he's really like, oh,
He is also traveling to see this demon and the city we are headed to. City of Ghouls.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure you just weren't following us?
I can see why you would think that. What can I do to satisfy your suspicions?
Go away.
I am happy to depart. I merely wanted to say hi to Mur.
Yes,
You do
it's
not
always
wish
a
to
pleasure. Again, the formalities. It is nice to have a break from that every once in a while. She'll lean real nonchalantly on like the rail of the skiff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Icky will like sarcastically laugh and smile as well.
Yes, it is quite a mighty steed you have there. I am sure it will make much faster time, but perhaps we'll run into each other again in the City of Demons.
I look forward to it. Perhaps we will be able to spend some time and to discuss matters.
What kind of matters?
There was an accident in the ritual. Couldn't be helped. These things are very complicated with many moving parts. Very likely to fail.
And there was the second attempt too, even
attempt,
adding
too.
extra cogs to the.
You saw the one who tried it the first time. I had to get out of there. So,
You both seem very broken up about it.
well, my reputation was on the line, certainly. Yeah.
These things can't be helped.
They can't be helped.
Icky's gonna like side eye Ellie and just like.
And but I do not wish to intrude. Clearly, there is some sort of moment that I interrupted, and he's looking at like Netizin and
But like shell shocked McCroythick just sitting there.
But I will wait. Take my leave, please. Have a safe journey. And
You as well.
walks
See you
away.
there.
You too. If we would have met any other occasion, I would have been nicer. But I'm just supposed to be very suspicious about everybody.
What a terrible way to live. I hope I see you again soon.
I can think
But
of
he
some
has-
worse ways to live.
What a terrible way to live. And Mer's just like, slight eye twitch.
Right.
Like it's the only way to live.
Like that's the last straw. That's
That's the one. You shouldn't have to live your life under threat suspicion.
Excuse me?
Like the paranoia is high with this one.
Yeah. Okay. He seemingly departs, and unless you have something more to say or do with him,
No,
you
just
can leave me alone.
see you there.
Yeah.
As soon as she's out of like eyesight, she'll be like, ugh.
Yeah.
He's
Icky will,
far
like,
too
catch
casual.
an eye and like grab like one of Icky's 10,000 javelins and like pull it out. Like yes.
I don't need to kill him. He is so casual. He's going to get himself killed, not before too much longer.
That's fine. I
He
guess.
seemed nice though.
Quite amenable. He's interesting. I
Suspicious.
don't like to burn any bridges, but I do think I might need to know more about his motives.
I will burn them for you.
All right.
I'm currently lecturing the imps. I say, you see how Jaja really didn't maintain good eye contact with me. They had a kind of a weaker handshake. It really
Two of them are
stand
taking
tall with your
notes.
shoulders back. Come on, imps. Come on.
Two of them are taking notes.
I hope so.
Yeah. You renamed them.
Yeah, I sent you right off the
Yeah.
right off the old family tree. So there's
There you
Llewellyn, Earwith, Gwerfel, Morfud, Edna Wayne, and Griffrey.
Excellent.
Two of them are lady imps.
Oh, they appreciate that.
I did not know they came in lady varieties.
They can.
You do
I'm
know.
in all varieties.
I've been under the impression we're going to eventually eat these, so I don't need names for them, but that will make them taste better.
We have tasty, delicious, yummy.
Knowing
my
that
God.
someone might mourn them when they're gone.
Tastes even better. I'm so glad you picked this up from me. It's like that soul lake.
Sorry, I got a little TK in my icky.
I don't blame you all, because those imps have
That's
probably
okay.
been like eyeing the animal companion and have been probably eyeing Ellie. We got to be careful with these fiends.
Yeah, they're not familiars. They're not like controlled by you.
Not yet.
Yeah. You need a permanent flock of familiars spell.
Flock of familiar. That's what I
It's
want.
fine. We will eat the insolent one, and then they will learn quicker.
What? You can't just eat me like that. It's not in my contract.
Cannot.
The chubby one.
You did not sign
The slowest.
contract with us.
Is that a contract with me? Oh wait, no, Icky's not that sassy. I have to
No, careful.
Mar would say that.
TK, come back, TK.
Rein it in.
Stay away from the light, Carolyn.
You only signed contracts with Gilbert,
mute myself.
not protect you.
Yeah, pick up
I
that
just-
all
I
these
just
flavors,
like
and you chose to be
realization of what they
salty.
did.
You might want to stay on my good side.
So you guys are still there, sort of at the base of this roof arch. Ersar is a dot on the horizon.
Mhm.
The imps are bickering and arguing with one another. Are y'all headed back on the course, or are you gonna change things up
Is
now?
there any, like, right before we head up on course, is there any, like, we're in the ruins around the ground, is there, like, a piece of stone that has any engravings, like, on it nearby or something?
You'd have to search for a while. There's a lot of broken masonry around here, but
okay.
it's like pretty weathered. You can give it a shot though.
Not too long. She just wants to for a little bit. Just a little quick little look-see over.
All right. In that case, just I mean, if you want to take as long as you want, you would find something. For
Yeah.
a quick one, investigation.
Sure.
What am I looking for?
Investigation. I should get on my D&D Beyond. Oh, I have a +8. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's way better than I thought. I was like, 21. I was like, oh man, I'm 13.
Yeah, you can find a piece of that has a fragment of a phrase or something.
Yeah. She'll just mage hand pick it up and put it in her bag of holding in case Berthoisek gets homesick later. There you go.
Excellent. There's your fragment. And anybody else?
Maybe she can learn the language.
Oh yeah. So if you continue on your way, you start seeing more and more of these broken monuments and the like. Some are like statues that have been just cracked and beheaded or otherwise defaced. Most of them are in states of considerable disrepair and erosion. And there are even times when you spot like a fragment of a road, like cobblestones that are like completely overgrown, and things like that. Let's see. And so that's sort of the terrain that you're in now. You can see on the horizon, still a while away, the outline of a city on a series of like low hills that you can see. It's all like broken towers and sort of ruined battlements, things like that. And I need just like 2 minutes to organize some stuff behind the screen. So give me that time, and then we'll see what happens next.
Sounds like someone's been reading a Matt Colville supplement.
I did. I ran the Battle of Ghost Town, Strongholds and Followers. It was actually really, really good, but it was like a stalemate, and then it was really bad for the Outlanders. It's a cool system though. All right, let's see.
No.
We'll take questions from the audience.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What is your preferred pizza?
Oh, I've got pizza in the fridge.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna eat it between this game and when I have to DM Space Pirates.
It's gotta have
Okay.
white sauce.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
white sauce with pepperoni, bacon, and onions.
Oh my god.
That's good.
It's real good.
Onions.
Unfortunately, can't have pizza because my husband's acid reflux is now so bad that he cannot have that amount of bread, cheese, and any sauce. But in the past, it was black olives, spinach, and ham
Nice.
when I could eat meat.
Still sounds delicious.
So long ago,
No.
1,000 years ago.
So
I
long.
think my fave. Sorry, go for it.
No,
Really
that's
back.
right. No, let's get this. What's Dave?
My fave is stuffed crust pizza with
yeah.
jalapenos and pineapple.
I just assumed all of these were stuffed crust.
Klaus White has a really good question, by the
Never
way.
had stuffed crust.
What's
Doesn't
that?
exist for me.
Which NPC would you want to steal as your PC?
The
Ooh.
Queen Medusa. Why would I want any NPC besides that one?
Yeah. Or her daughter.
Yeah, Mivia. Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how old she is, so it's like, is she young adult age or is she
She's young adult.
elder teenager age?
I
That's-
changed my answer. I always forget his name, but what's his face? The guy that like goes into those trances to like.
Oh yeah.
He seems like he's got it made.
Which
Yeah.
one's that?
The half orc who
Yeah.
was the fellowship.
Yeah.
Oh
Give
yeah,
me the berry.
He lives under the tree, yeah.
Fire with Thrax, yeah.
Yeah.
The one who's like in communion with the Feywild.
Mhm.
Yeah. He's neat.
It's pretty cool. I miss him. Also, Ellie.
I like interacting with Becoithic too much to want to be Becoithic, but I'd say probably my mom, who we haven't met yet, but she's freaking awesome. Or Molly Mock. I could just have fun being
my
a
God.
flippant kind of like I'm so cool
Right.
guy,
right.
kind of like all the time. Yeah,
Just walk around the plains fighting things.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool. You wanna meet up?
Yeah.
I'm free.
I kind of want to be Icky's brother. Is that it?
Mhm.
Rick.
Rick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because I can think of some like
Peter?
really. Yeah, I can think of some really weird things to get up to with that.
Yeah,
like a
fair.
lizard
For
folk
sure.
rogue or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rick's is bless his heart.
Yeah, bless his heart.
He's in bad shape right now.
He's still alive though.
Not one of he's got like 3 permanent injuries from the DMG table, like lost eye and terminal. Yeah, he's bad. He's rough shape. Yeah,
He earned it.
he did.
I'm cool with
He
it.
should have trusted him. Do you have an NPC, Grant, that you would play as a PC?
Possibly Ling, particularly when they
fair.
showed up with the pyramid. I really liked all the Chronomancer spells. I liked in that
Oh, yeah.
boss fight how there were like
Oh, yeah.
multiple Lings to fight.
Yeah.
I also carried Ling for like 9 months of play in my brain, so I feel a certain connection there. That was hard because we went like the first 7 months. I didn't even tell anyone. Like that was
That's
long-
crazy.
That was a
Yeah.
lot of back and forth. Grant and Jim secret notes.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Method
Yeah,
acting.
Corsica would be a good one too.
Yeah.
Corsica.
I'm definitely
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
play
Corsica.
in the future because actually I just like the idea of a paladin. It's like he just loves this goddess.
Yeah, Corsica would be fun too. Again, I've always wanted to play like a rogue in a long-term game, and I never have.
Fun times.
Yeah.
So, as you're
Look.
that's good. That's a good question though. So as you're passing through the sort of outskirts of the city, and you're going to see more and more of these ruins, it eventually starts to be not like monumental architecture that you see, but like ruins of town villages. You see like the skeletal outlines of buildings and walls and things like that. Are you heading straight there, doing anything before you arrive, or anything like that? Because you'll be there before nightfall.
Just checking in on Becoithic after a little while, after giving him some time.
Yeah. Ellie would also ask him, like, what was up with that? Like, what is that town or whatever?
This was he sort of takes a minute. Like I wasn't from around here, but I spent a lot of time at the capital. I don't remember much about it, but it's the last place I remember being before I don't remember anything.
Was it a fun place?
It was parts of it certainly. There's all kinds of elves and dwarves and little halflings and things, and just it was great. Everybody was just getting along. We'd go to the tavern and drink, and you don't even worry about anything. We just fought monsters and drank, and it was seems like a dream now, but I don't know. I don't know what it'll be like. And he still seems like shook, and it's like his thoughts are not like all there.
Mm-hmm.
The imps start to sing behind him. I dreamed a dream in time gone by. They're starting to reminisce about the old days.
Smites one of them. Punch smite.
No, they just turn invisible. What? That would hurt. That would be a punch smite
A punch
paladin.
Who cares that it's only 1 plus strength damage because that's smite dice.
Yeah, he'd take up that.
Anyway.
Please don't vaporize it. I want to eat one.
All right, not the big one. not
Yeah,
Not the
not a
plump one.
plump
not the
one.
plump one.
Yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, thanks to the second edition supplement, Faces of Evil, the Fiends, I know what all of the fiends taste like and the best way to prepare their internal organs for consumption. It's one of the best Planescape supplements, best D&D supplement.
I love Planescape.
Is that written by Wolfgang or no?
I don't remember who wrote it, but it's written. It's there's no stats in it. There's no mechanics. It's pure game fiction, and it's written from the perspective of adventurers who fight fiends. And so, like, the one for devils is like from the Slod, who's just like, yeah, eat the heart. It's the best thing. And,
Colin McComb.
Yeah, it's really fun. Faces of Evil, the Fiends is
Cat number 2.
real fun. So you pass a lot of these, but Kroithwick is he's better than he was at the Arch, but still seems like visibly shaken and seems nervous. Like you've never really seen him be fearful or hesitant about anything, but he seems like super not necessarily wanting to go here. As the ruins zip by and the city looms larger and larger, the shadows of the setting suns begin to cast, sort of long across the desert, and the city, as you can see it, is sort of like fills the entire horizon. This is an enormous city, and even from this distance, you can tell that the walls and buildings in it display several different like architectural styles, different sort of like stonework that's been used, different materials. And so it looks like a thing that's been expanded on and built up. But it was massive, bigger even than, say, the Drow cities that dot the Horn River. So it doesn't look like there's anyone here. There's no guard. You haven't seen anyone like traveling the road or anything. But it's going to be pretty soon when you get to the gates, like within a matter of minutes.
Okay. Icky would like to go ahead and cast Conjure Animals and send them out with the express like purpose of like scouting.
Okay. Let's get that. So I was about to say, what kind of animals do you conjure? But that's...
I would like to do 8.
8.
So.
Okay. So for like the 8 Sierra Force.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I haven't not checked out D&D Beyond since they redid their interface.
Mm-hmm.
Really
Looks good.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it quite a bit.
All right.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Not sponsored. I mean, you wouldn't. No, but not sponsored.
I'm not going to tell you guys how to live your life, but if you wanted to.
Perfect.
It'll make it pretty cool.
Spread some of that cheddar around. All right.
Cheddar. Put it on.
All right. So these are the CR14s, yes, or the 18s?
If it is 8 of them, they are 14s.
Okay. All right. Then let's have a die roll. I think it's a D. Let me give me a D20 roll.
Okay. I'll use my DM dice for mists. 13.
All right. 1, 2. So 8. That was really cool. 8 of these sort of enormous winged creatures. They have gigantic ears and don't even appear to have any eyes. Sort of like manifest around Icky. They're about the size of a large dog with wingspans about 5 feet. And so they are awaiting your orders.
Okay. Icky will say to them, go find the guards, come back.
They take off. If we need to, they're giant bats, but they're otherwise grotesque. If we need to use stats for them. All right, so they go take off and begin scouting. Anyone else do anything?
I'm slowing the skiff down to give her animals some time to kind of, so she can just casually rolling up. Doesn't look like she's charging the place.
Denizen is still in trance.
Okay. And then anything from Ellie?
No, I think she would just keep an eye on everything until it's safe for her to, or I guess for everybody, to kind of go and explore.
Okay. So in that case, how long do you wait for the bats to come back?
I wouldn't wait longer than like 20 minutes, since I assume they have a pretty decent flight speed.
Yeah, they do.
So
I mean, they can cover some ground, and
it's like 60 feet.
So
And they have echolocation, so
they've got so they come back, or they begin to come back from all different directions, and it looks like were all in through the city. They flew above it. Seems like some of them probably like went down into it. So yeah, if you waited like 20 minutes, then they've got a good idea of sort of what's at least in the immediate vicinity of where you're headed. They come back, and I don't know, I forget, can they talk to you or anything? I mean, you have different ways.
Yeah, they can't really talk to me, but I think at least somebody in this group can talk to animals.
I can.
Okay. They give their report in a high-pitched, it's painful to hear, right? And it seems as though the city is empty. It's in bad shape. Ruined, the streets, all tore up. And they didn't see anything, but they said that it smells terrible.
New or old smell?
This is an old death.
Old death. Okay. Well, I'll just keep them up. They can hang out with us.
Okay.
It's daytime. Well, yeah.
It's like dusk. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we'll roll in.
Okay. They follow, and the skiff enters, and you pass through this large arch. It's almost like a tunnel underneath the wall. It's easily 50 feet. This wall is massive and rises at least twice as high, although it's not, it's ruined. Parts of it are like broken down, smashed. Just like looking at the outside of it, you can tell that a lot of this damage is from sieges and other sort of warfare. You can see the remnants of like old ramps that would have been used to enter the city, things like that. You pass through this tunnel archway, are now in these streets in which the cobblestones are partially tore up. The buildings all seem in disrepair, but they're not ruined. They're not just like completely dilapidated. It looks like somebody is cleaning up. The streets are clear. There's nothing like clogging the open spaces. It's just a vast, empty city that seems taken care of. You're just in that sort of like entryway. You're in like a street, kind of wide, with buildings on either side. Actually, yeah, this place is kind of big, so there's really nothing else you can see other than the city at this point.
Okay.
So,
Icky. You hear in your head,
Oof.
what do you see? And
I don't like this.
It's Nenizin.
Icky pointedly looks at Nenizin.
He still looks like he's in a trance. Or they are in a trance.
I see somebody who cannot respect boundaries.
We don't know what you mean.
I do not like this. What do you want?
We sense danger.
The world is dangerous.
We sense danger to our person.
Which person?
Us.
What do you want done?
Wake us.
Icky will punch Nenizin in the side of the head.
Nenizin takes 1 damage. Or 2?
I don't know. I didn't bite you, so I don't have to roll for bite damage, which is considerably more than just like smack up the side of the head. Icky takes off their flip flop.
Bam!
The chunk.
Yeah.
Denizen awakes with a start and looks at Bekorthik.
He's sort of sitting across from me. He's got his visor up on his helm. He's just sort of like, should I have a good nap?
No. In your time, did you see a great battle?
What do you mean, like my time? Yeah.
Hmm.
I've seen many great battles.
No.
We just came
It was
from
a
one.
siege. The siege of the city. And then Denizen will look around this city.
No one's ever been able to break into the capital. No one's ever been. No, the walls are too thick.
No. I saw this place fall.
No. Well, I don't remember it, but how could it? There were so many soldiers and they're wizards. They're like all kinds of wizards.
There was a champion.
Hmm.
The wizards could do nothing.
I don't know anything about that. Why are you asking me?
You are from here, and we have seen it.
He's we.
Yeah, Mur's kind of looking a little bit too.
Yeah, because you're speaking out loud, right?
Mhm.
Are you using your telepathy with Axe Streamer?
No, they're speaking out loud.
Okay. Yeah, then Axe Streamer asked, like, what do you mean we? I thought this was the first time anybody's been here.
Yes. We, both of us.
Me and you? And he's like desperately looking like, oh, can I don't
He's
know.
poor confused boy.
Yeah, he's
His poor brain.
uh-huh.
We apologize. Forgive us. We thought maybe you would know about the city.
No, I don't. Like I said, I've been here before a couple times, but remember any battles?
Well, it seems between your time and now, the city was assaulted, and perhaps that is what happened.
Well, I guess I missed that one, huh? And he took. You can tell he's trying to like, deflect with humor.
He's probably having a bad time.
Like super creeped out by the way Nitizen's just like,
We.
yeah. Ominous. All right, well, hey Scraticus, thanks for the raid.
Yeah, raid.
And so yeah, he's like looking to Mur. And are there any languages that the two of them speak? Like, I actually don't really know. I don't think I ever chose languages for him, but
I'd like to think she taught him, because they spent a lot of time together. I'd like to think she taught him Elvish or Infernal, or Elvish probably, actually.
probably Elvish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he doesn't listen to our secret mom.
Yeah, yeah.
He
That
probably
may
would
have
also be
been
like, I
something
don't
he
even want to learn Infernal. Like, don't
Yeah.
even try to infect my brain.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it might
don't
be
even
something
try.
he may have even picked up beforehand, and she just had to update him because
Yeah,
elves are super common,
Yeah, he had a very archaic understanding of the language.
Okay, yeah.
And
so
not even the Drow dialects either. So,
yeah, she would probably taught him Elvish.
in that case, he will ask in Elvish then, like, is he all right? Should I be worried?
I have no idea. This is the first time I've heard them. We? I am confused. I will monitor accordingly. Keep an eye out.
So, 2 questions: is the skiff still? Are you still piloting the skiff and like moving it?
Yeah, it's slow city cruising speed. So if a kid runs out in the street, she's not gonna run it over.
Sure.
And
is
5
anybody,
miles per hour, parking lot speed.
Yeah. Is anybody else saying anything or jumping in on this one?
No. definitely not. I think Ellie would be kind of
Yeah.
grossed out by the smell.
Yeah, it smells just disgusting. It's an old, musty, sort of like rotten smell. Nothing fresh, nothing like necrotic. You know, it's not like a cadaverous type smell. It's just a musty, old grave earth.
All right, Gildan, where is it you need to go?
Quick metagaming aside, I'm
Yep.
counting down the minutes till Jim Davis uses Dominate Monster on the air elemental inside the skiff.
Oh,
That
would
thought
be
just-
beautiful.
That thought just came into my head.
That would be
and it's
beautiful.
because he asked a question, then I was like, wait a second.
Or like a ninth level dispel. I
Yeah,
miss
Counterspell.
I miss Mordenkainen's disjunction.
Seriously,
Gildan-
yeah. Such a great spell.
No
Such a great
relation
spell.
to anything that's going on.
Gildan's gonna message Bimnon, let him know that he has arrived
Okay.
through dangers untold and hardships
Numbered.
Yeah. No.
So this sort of going on whenever minutes
Found
in.
my way through the
Gotcha.
rapids, through the center of the Goblin Center. Blah, 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 blah. Yes.
I'm glad you made it. We are in his. There's a brief pause. We are in the market palace. Is that right? And if you entered in through the south, it gives you directions through this sort of see, partially visualizing it as well. It seems as though since it's the last time you talked to Memnon, he's like leveled up. And and as you're sort of getting this information and sort of seeing it, you sort of notice that there are multiple palaces sort of dotted throughout the city, and now that you're like inside of it, they sort of dominate all the spaces between the buildings, and there's really nowhere you can look where you don't see one of these enormous, elaborate palaces that have been.
Not using the Dortoka supplement, are you? No. Point crawling
Many
through the
tools
city.
in my toolbox.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, oh, great. Let's see what's going to eat me today. I'm going to speak the command word for my winged boots, Presto Strangeo, and just sort of float up. And I'm going to start soaring to the spot where I was supposed to meet him.
Okay. How high up do you go?
Let's put it this way. I don't want to go above any palaces, but I don't want to be on the ground.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I get what you're saying then. So you're somewhere between like 10 and 50 feet, probably. In that case, as Gildan's flying around and Murray, you're sort of piloting the craft through the slowly, the suns begin to set and the shadows in the city begin to deepen and deepen. And it's then that you start to hear, or rather more like feel, a subtle and low vibration. Particularly like those of you who are in the skiff, it sort of like even comes up through like dust falling off the buildings and like little pebbles and the like shaking. And out of these buildings and the just hidden places in the city, you start to see shambling and slowly shuffling forms, humanoid in shape, but thin, gaunt. Nothing that you really hear other than like the sound of these dry footsteps on the city stones, but there's a lot of them. And as you, as the sort of the shadows deepen, these creatures begin to emerge from the places within the city. Desiccated, sort of paper thin corpses that are walking around. Many of them have broken bones, evidence of like massive wounds and the like. And they're almost all of them dwarves, elves, humans, and the like. Some orcs, some goblinoids, but mostly like the traditional fantasy type races.
So rare for us.
Right. But they've all got these sort of like rictus face, corpse mouths with like paper thin skin stretched over their skeletons. They're all clearly like mummified or desiccated in some way, and they seem to be ignoring you.
Are they going about like they're kind of like mockery of life? Like you
You start
wake
seeing
up,
them.
go to work.
They start
stuff.
sweeping out
Okay.
from the shops and
Okay.
all taking empty and broken carts that are just like barely.
Mer's definitely putting into her brain how exactly we've got in here, which turns we took, making note of that. Just in case.
Yeah. In Gilding, you see a similar situation from your vantage point. It's as if the city's coming alive, and this sort of like mockery of life as these cadavers begin to engage in commerce in a market with non-existent goods.
Got its name now.
I might need to make some scouts. I'm considering using Create Undead and make some ghouls and send them about to, I don't know, maybe buy us some stuff.
Gonna get some things.
Maybe, if anything, they'd get information. So I'm not gonna do that right now, though. I'm gonna continue pressing towards the mark.
Okay. In that case, I mean, you can easily get there in just probably less than a minute or so. If you're flying above the buildings, that kind of thing.
Yep.
It'd take you a lot longer if you navigate the streets. And I guess Gildan, you lose sight of him as Gildan flies off. So before we sort of get to the palace and sort of what's going on there, how about everybody in the skiff? Are you headed anywhere specific or what?
Looking for places that aren't filled with just undead.
There's not going to be any in that city. They look as though they're like throngs of them. They
Well,
stop coming out.
Memnon's here somewhere, and he's, to her knowledge, not undead.
Mhm.
So just kind of look for that area.
Okay.
Nennison is now very alert.
Yeah.
And they're watching, looking for Memnon. In fact, probably leaning next to the railing next to Myrrh and saying, "We should find Memnon."
Agreed.
Good.
Well, I mean, that's I guess that's where. I mean, Gildan, did you tell him before you left that that's where you were headed?
Well, I told them I was here to see him, and I
But you just like took off flying and left. Okay. Well, in that case, Gildan just took off as flying out.
Yeah, that's what Mert assumed.
Okay.
He didn't say he told us, so I assumed he didn't, and we're just looking.
Okay. So in that case, like trailing in the general direction, you're looking for what it is. Of course, you're noticing all these palaces all around.
So kind of like the general direction he was flying, so she'll kind of head off in that direction.
There's the closer you get to these palaces, the more you can see undead that have ornamental armor on that's sort of like slightly tarnished, but is otherwise kept up. And you start seeing like sedan chairs or the what do you call them, a palanquin, where it's like covered in curtains or beads, things like that. You see several of them in the marketplace as you're driving through. These great elaborate processions with undead with these sort of like gowns and great big ornamental headdresses on. It's kind of like Carnival in like Brazil or the Caribbean, but instead of the sort of celebration of life and the like, this is more like bones and sort of like grotesque and macabre imagery that's on these. They make these great big processions through the streets, and when they do, all the other cadavers around them like bow down and scrape their faces on the cobblestones. This happens 2 or 3 times as you travel through. They are all headed in a certain direction, though. You notice after the third one.
Are they headed in the direction Gildon was kind of headed in, or a different direction?
More or less.
Okay, just keep going then.
Okay. So you follow this procession through the streets, hoping that it will lead somewhere. Gildan, you're reasonably certain that the palace ahead of you is the one that Memnon was speaking of. The image of it in your mind bears that out. What does Gildan do?
WWGD. Everyone get your bracelets on. I
got mine on.
I'm mostly just trying to keep pressing towards the mark. I have a couple of my hex spells prepared in my list just in case things go crazy. But even if they do, I mean, I ain't really afraid of ghouls. I can normally go, hey, all of you die, and they do.
Yeah. You have a sense that these are.
I don't think they're messing with me. Yeah.
Yeah. And also that they're not even really. Give me
They're not really undead.
They're undead, but they're not a type that you're sort of familiar with.
I didn't think they would be.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like maybe religion might be appropriate, or
Let me try
arcana.
that. I'm good at religion.
Yeah.
So I got a 17 on religion.
Yeah, the rumors that y'all know about this place, the ghoul is a moniker. Sort of like, oh yeah, it's a ghoulish place. Not because it has monster manual ghouls in it, but because it's just a ghoulish place. These creatures, as far as Gildan's like heard rumors about or whatever, they don't seem like sort of the necrophage type undead that you ran into earlier. They're not. They don't have that sort of viciousness that's driving them. They almost seem living in their mannerisms and behavior. Whatever's controlling them must be very complex because they're engaged in all manner of difficult and complicated tasks, well choreographed.
Gracious.
Thousands of them everywhere you look almost.
I could live here and study their ways for the rest of my life and be happy.
It's like a haunted city, kind of?
Well, everything I wanted to achieve with old bone bags, these guys do. Like, this is great. These are my people. Oh.
And you see several of these processions as well. They're all making their way towards the palace that you are headed towards. Well,
absolutely love ceremony, but I'm gonna have to continue to press towards that. Continue to press towards the palace.
Okay. You get to it, and it is a elaborate and complicated affair, an architectural style that you're not familiar with, like from the Wasteland, or it doesn't resemble anything else. From Gildan's vantage point, each of the palaces has a different architectural look and feel, and is made of a different material as well. And you can tell that this was also not like buildings have been demolished to make room for this. This was not like part of the original city. And there's an entrance, multiple entrances, great big spires and domes and the like. But the processions are making their way towards a vast sort of like giant entrance that leads into like a big dome structure. Like Hagia Sophia from Constantinople. Or I guess Istanbul's not Constantinople.
That's right, yeah. It's like go right into they might be giants.
Right.
But yeah, so
nobody's business but theirs.
So I'm gonna see if I can locate creature on Mimnum and close the gap.
Okay. All right. Give me that. You don't really have to do anything, do you? If it's within 1,000 feet,
something like that.
Yeah. So in that case, yeah, there is a ping on your magical radar.
Boop, 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 boop.
Palace.
Enhance.
Yeah. I mean, if it's within the range, he's probably within that big dome structure.
Okay, that's where I'm headed. I'm gonna soar to the dome.
Mm-hmm.
Superman arms to go a little faster.
Mm-hmm. There are multiple guards there in this elaborate ceremonial armor. It appears as though each of the processions has to make some sort of elaborate ceremonial gesture of entry or some kind. They're doing something wordless, going through these motions and sort of bowing down, scraping their sort of heads, mostly just to the palace. But no one challenges you as you fly towards the entrance.
Let me see. Well, I don't want to offend them, so I'm going to approach them meekly, sort of land, and I'm going to try to discern if there's anything I should do to be accepted. Because it may be, no, they don't challenge me because there's a barrier of death that will disintegrate me if I don't show respect. It's like, why challenge me if there's a death barrier?
Right.
So
you're just gonna like watch and observe for a bit to see.
I'm gonna watch and observe, but I'm essentially looking at the sentinels, and I'm gonna try to discern if there's any, make my intentions known that I intend to enter.
Okay. you watch one of these ceremonies and look at it. There's they don't seem to be gesturing to the guards. They seem to be gesturing to the portal into the palace itself, the doorway, rather. And you don't catch any sort of magical effect that's going on. There's no nothing that jumps out immediately as containing a spell or something like that. There's no other guards or anything. They finish their ceremony. The doors open. The procession enters, and then the next one begins their ritual.
Are all the rituals identical, or is there variances between them?
There's the first one is different from the second one as you're watching.
Okay. So I'm going to approach, and I'm going to, when it's my turn in line, I'm going to perform my own ritual, and I'm going to essentially do a grotesque puppet show, Punch and Judy it, and bow. And I'm not doing this out of disrespect. This literally is my religion. So
you get done with your ceremony, and the door opens. And it's possible that Myrrh and the rest of you have caught up with you by the time you were sort of waiting your turn and the like. So if Myrrh, if you just give me like an intelligence check to be able to make your way through the city. Right, never mind. You're following the processions, right? You don't even need to make a check. The last one, as Gildan's like you guys are coming up there as you see Gildan sort of performing his ceremony. And I think maybe even Gildan notices that they've made their way through the city, and those your friends on the skiff are approaching the palace.
Cool beans.
All right. Unless anybody intervenes or anything, Gildan is allowed entry into the palace,
Awesome.
and you guys get to watch as the next procession does its ritual and is allowed entry into the place. So back at the skiff, you see this. Gildan's entered all the ceremony. What's y'all's plan?
Do you think we're allowed to go in there too?
Perhaps. I do not know. This is interesting. Not quite what I was expecting to find.
Perhaps, Becorthoi, you could vouch for us, so to speak.
He's like, well, I mean, why?
Because you were a member of this place. You were a citizen.
He might have been true at one point, but you don't. This is not the city I recognize. I mean,
Okay.
I don't even know where we are in the city itself, but these aren't. And he just seems speechless as he's trying to like process the.
Yeah.
Perhaps we are mistaken.
He's even like lowered his visor once all the people start coming out, or all the undead. It's the people in a way. So yeah, he's like, I really don't feel good about this.
Yes. Do these, and have we heard any conversations? Or is there a kind of language, or is it all just silent? Oh, that's spooky.
You've heard the occasional like dry rasp.
Oh.
Just like a kind of thing.
Oh. Fantastic.
But looking at them, you're not sure that they would even have the physical apparatus.
Physical capabilities? Gotcha. Yeah. She's just curious if the mouths were moving, like people were trying to talk her. But I was just like eerie silence.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think Ellie would kind of poke her head out of the skiff and then just analyze each person, and the one that kind of has more of their face together, she's probably going to speak to, like, hello, do you know where we are?
It's it looks at you for a minute. It's hollow eyes, right? Doesn't have just these eye sockets, and it points towards the palace, and then it holds both of its hands up like this.
Are we supposed to fight something in there?
It kind of looks at you and.
Well, that's
Okay. Is there a
double
And
fisted.
does Ellie wear anything to like mask or cover your face or anything? Anything to like hide your?
I don't think so.
I didn't
No.
think so. I was curious. There's like if you pop your head out and start talking to one of them, there's multiple of them that start looking at Ellie and are like making their way, or some of they're not very steady on their feet, and many of them are severely injured or have crushed limbs, that kind of thing. So some of them are crawling, some are hobbling. But if you sit still, if the skiff doesn't move, then there's a small crowd of cadavers that clusters around Ellie.
Do they appear curious, aggressive?
There's like a tension in the air for a minute as they just sort of are crowding, and you can hear that raspy kind of coming from their throats. And then one of them does sort of reach out, not like fast. They don't seem like they're able to move fast at all, but does reach out to try to touch Ellie. Like if you've got like a hand on the side of the skiff or an arm or something,
I'm probably like this or like this, looking out.
It's probably going to try to touch your face.
They appear like not aggressive.
Correct. Yeah, they don't look like
okay.
they could harm anything. They move.
They don't look like they could.
They move. The way they move is so slow and sort of like stodgy. They don't seem like they're. So that's what I meant. Like they don't look like the necrophages that y'all fought.
Yeah.
Like the fast, slavering kind of zombies that y'all dealt with there, like the ghouls that were.
Just making sure like their posturing isn't like super like aggressive.
Their posturing is broken and hunched.
Do you guys need help with something?
There's a collective gasp from this small crowd of them, and two more of them are like trying to reach out, and they're not as successful, but they are trying to like touch you and like feel your hair and your face.
They found a human. Okay, they tried to keep your helmet on.
I mean, if they're just like gonna just go like this, I don't think she'll do anything.
They don't try to hurt you at all.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Yes, she's real.
Psychic.
You recall, that's the first thing Gildan did to her when he met her for the first time. Touched her face.
it's true.
So Jim, like psychically, are they there?
You try to.
Can I reach out to their minds? I do. Or we do.
Okay. What do you say? What do you do?
We reach out with a message, telepathic message.
What do you say?
Are you well?
Save us!
Whoa. Time to hold church. Baptisms all around.
What you hear a throng of voices reply that.
Man, I wish I knew what they were saying.
Netizen shuts off their pathways.
Okay.
And kind of recoils.
Okay.
What happened?
What?
Why?
Are you alright, Mr. Wee?
We heard them. They wish to be saved. All of them.
How can we save them?
From what?
You
They're
say that
long
out loud.
dead.
I say everything out
All
loud.
of them point towards the palace.
Ah,
Oh boy.
alright then.
Wait, you have to go back and do your mental thingy so you can ask him how we can save them and like who's there and who's trying to hurt them.
It's not good to go in blind.
It was pretty jarring, right? To hear them all at once.
Yeah, it's pretty jarring. Yeah, it's like they shouted at you in your mind, like a lot of them.
Maybe just pick one?
It's as if you heard
tried.
thousands of voices.
You
suddenly
tried,
screamed
right? Like that's
in
what you.
silence.
That's what. Yeah.
Yeah, Denizen's going to try to maybe communicate with one of them, and ask them how can we save you?
All right. There's a just like a moment, right? And it meets your it's
Take 8d4 psychic damage.
destroy the demon.
Ooh.
Undo his spell.
Oh boy.
And those of you who are up close and talking to them and like, so for Ellie, Ninazen, at least the two of you, you can make me perception checks for this.
Heck yes.
Nice.
12.
12. There's something off about it. Alex, not quite
24.
able to, 24. So like you're
Yeah.
staring or like communicating with this thing, and the you can see underneath its paper thin skin where there are bones exposed, that there are tiny etchings that cover all of their bones.
Again, Ninizen recoils, and out of necessity shuts off their communication.
Mm-hmm. The group ahead of you is almost done with their ceremony. If there's anything else you'd like to do with sort of like the throng of them that are just out here, just wretched, and it seems as though there's more of them arriving and more of them as the night goes on. The plaza in front of the palace begins to like fill with them.
Great. Fantastic.
Ninizen will say aloud, "They wish to be freed
From the demon?
from the demon." Yes.
Of course they do. Everyone hates demons. It's a thing.
They're covered in sigils.
Ooh, can I look at those? If
Mhm.
Sally is pointing them out.
Yeah, if
Oh.
you point them out, you get like advantage on the roll there. DC's 15 to notice them.
Is it perception or investigation?
A perception in this case.
Okay.
You shouldn't really put hands on it or anything.
All right. I got 17.
Okay. Yeah, you see them. They are. You don't recognize the scripts.
Okay. It's probably abyssal, not infernal.
Yeah, it feels fiendish.
Probably.
But yeah, there's like I said, there's quite a few of them filling up here. The group the procession that was entering the palace ahead of you is done. The doors have opened. They are entering it. You'll be up next if you wish. So what is the last, like, where we leave off the group in the skiff before?
Mur's just gonna say, do we have to do anything in particular to get inside? I see these rituals. Just shake hands, yes, sir.
Y'all saw Gildan do something like that. You see him pop up as you go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Great.
So we have to.
Gildan.
We only know a few
Save 'em.
rituals.
You guys are my cover band. This is great.
We for sure have to save them, right?
You know who could teach you the rituals is those imps. They know them.
Oh, well, Mur knows rituals. They're just very fiendish in nature for the most
Sure.
part.
But are they religious?
I'd say probably.
Yeah, I mean, like, just like watching them, the procession,
Phil.
there's a lot of bowing. There's a lot of, they're sort of like, they start at the foot of the steps and there's a bunch of bowing and then they advance one. It's a long time.
It's like when you have to go up to like a real higher up in the infernal court, and you're like, oh, let me into the palace. Okay.
It reminds Mur very much of the palace protocol and ceremony for, like,
Oh,
it
okay.
reminds very much of that.
Interesting.
It's kind of like that, like, yeah, reminds Mur very much of that. So it's almost like watching them, you know a thing that resembles this that you, to get in.
I don't like leaving the skiff here. I don't want to go in, but if everyone wants to go in, we can try getting in.
We believe we should.
Maybe somebody should stay. And she looks over to Axe Dreamer.
I'll stay if it's if that's what you need.
Be careful, Max Dreamer.
Well, they don't seem to. They don't seem like the ones that are dangerous here.
Yes, I
Very
would
true.
agree. Just keep your eye out in case things turn.
Very true.
So is everyone accompanying, other than Axe Dreamer, accompanying Mur into the palace?
I think so. And
Yeah.
before I get off the skiff, I'm going to look at these creatures. But Ellie's going to say, okay, people, listen, we're going to save you. So if you have to go in there and then something bad is going to happen to you, probably don't go in there. And she like waits for a response and she's like, oh yeah, I can't understand them.
Yeah, they just sort of like, some of them nod.
Mm.
kind of thing. Is Icky going in the palace?
Yeah, what's Icky doing?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, and Mer will tell Icky and Infernal. She's gonna be like, Ellie really wants to go in and see this, and she's been on a big rebellious kick lately. So if you don't walk in with her, she's gonna do it on her own, and it's gonna be much worse.
That's true, and then she'll probably
Make
call
friends with the
her
demon, and that's
friends with
that's
the
the worst
demon.
thing.
Then we will have more ghoul pets.
No, I can't. We can't have this. If we, no.
What do we do with these imps?
I hope you guys like closets. Gillen's gonna get some.
I say we leave them here for now. Mikroetic is competent. He can
Do you think he can sell them?
maybe.
Yes, let's leave him instructions to sell the imps.
They're not going to put up with that. They'll kill Bekroithic. There's 6 of them. That's 6 poison stings from invisibility with advantage. Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha.
Aren't you in a palace?
Yeah, are your imps with you? Did you bring your imps?
No, I wouldn't bring my imps with me. They'll get me killed.
They'll be fine. I mean, if the imps kill Axe Dreamer, Icky doesn't care, and
You know, even if invisibility,
for me.
I still think because it's not greater invisibility, so the invisibility
Probably
breaks as soon
fine.
as they make an attack.
Yeah.
It's probably
I
fine.
mean, it's at will. They could do it again, but they'd have to like.
Yeah, but that's an action, so yeah, he's got them.
Oh, yeah, he's a mid-level paladin, 6 imps. I don't know.
And if he doesn't,
Then what happens?
I don't care.
But he also doesn't. I mean, he hasn't messed with them. He like swatted at one of them that was messing with him.
Mhm.
I'm sure he'll ignore that too. I'm sure he'll
I think he can
ignore
take-
whatever Icky wants. It's fine.
He does take his cues from Icky and Mur.
Yeah, he probably knows when Icky's trying to get him killed, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He thinks it's
he looks over and he's
Like,
Yeah, if I don't try to get him killed at least one time an episode.
Those imps are going to try to confuse him into signing an agreement. He might.
They
I hope
might. They
so.
certainly might. But he's at the very least.
Mura's told him never
Yeah.
to sign anything ever unless she looks over it over first.
Oh,
Never
he does.
Get murdered. Get my lawyer to look at it.
I'm his lawyer.
So Gildan,
Yeah.
the doors close silently behind you as you walk in. You can tell up ahead that there is a room lit by magical fire. You can see it
Yeah.
flickering, but it's in pinks and like powder blues and pastel purples, sort of gold and silver as well. That's sort of like coming from a room in front of you. It seems as though you're in a hallway lined with statues of armor, all different kinds and varieties, but of sort of like big, imposing sorts of suits of armor.
Here's a question.
Mhm.
Do I sense any big bad demon in here?
You sense a
If
lot
I
of
use
things
magic?
there. Yeah, I mean that depends on what. If
I've-
you're trying to like sense with your like, the fact that you're like.
I've
11th
heard
character.
there is. Yeah, I've heard there's a big bad demon in here, and I just want to
Yes.
make sure that.
You have heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one thing to sort of like, what do I notice that's like part of my, just sort of what I know, or are you going to use magic?
No, I'm probably going to use my features to start
Okay.
to pick up on this. So let's see what we want to do. Nah, I figure if the demon wants anything to do with me, it'll make its intentions known.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's proceed
Okay.
humbly and meekly. See if I can find Mimnim. I should still have a ping on him.
Yeah, he's up ahead and to the left. Yes, my cat in the background squawking. Undoubtedly, Emma's back there somewhere, and the cat is letting her know how mad that the cat is. She gets to sleep on the bed all day. The
Stop
cat
poking
doesn't.
it.
Like, lives in the lap of luxury. Complains all the time. Anyway,
Sweet little Abby.
what are you gonna do? She's like 15 years old. So anyway, that's Abby, her name. All right. Hilden walks through the hallway, and the statues sort of like turn and follow you as you make your way down this corridor. The large domed room at the end of it is filled with sort of these you might take to be nobles or aristocrats. Some of them seem to be the same cadaver people that were outside in the processions, right? These sort of elaborate headdresses and ceremonial robes and the like. Their entourages sort of like line the walls of this room. But there's also living creatures here. You see a cluster of servitors who are just to the left. Memnon is with them. They have there's several other wastelanders out there with them. There's a group of maybe about a dozen of them. On another side of the room, there seems to be a giant of some sort, or at least a humanoid that's about 12 to 15-ish feet tall, and it's sitting down. It's sort of a pale, ashy gray, very gaunt, but definitely a living creature. It surrounds another group of sort of wastelanders you would take, or at the very least, they're sort of, they're not servitors, they're not humans, they're not cadavers. And then at the center of this room, in the middle of like a sort of circular radial grid, sitting in the center of it in what looks to be like a bowl chair, right? Like those Papazon chairs you get from like, I don't know, wherever. Lounging, it's like just draped over it, is this creature of some kind, a humanoid, definitely fiendish, with sort of this deep emerald green skin, almost like you could, if you stare at him long enough, it seems as though his form is like a negative space that you could fall into. And he's just like mindlessly swirling something in a drink. And there's a group of these cadaver aristocrats spread out from him on this grid, almost like chess pieces that are approaching him. It's entirely quiet, although you could hear the groups of living creatures whispering. So, Gildan, you find yourself in the middle of this, and what's your sort of first impression there?
All right. The first thing I have to do is I have to I don't have a good one for this. I'm essentially going to cast a spell just because I'm surrounded by a lot of these things. I'm worried about them jumping on me. So I'm going to use a concentration spell, Dispel Evil, just so if anyone swings at me, they're at disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to call the fiend, and I ask by what name must I call it?
From the chair. Please, we don't stand too much on formalities here. You can call me Tengreth. Come on in. This is Mikasa's Sukasa, if you understand me.
Yes, and I ask if Tengreth, if this is their city right now.
Of course it is. Yes. Don't you see, this place is was something special. Memnon tells me that you were on your way. I'm glad to see that you made it.
Yes, I bring a gift for you. And I hold up a small sack, and I'm going to kind of wing boot to float over to him. You know, very like anime Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
And then
sort of follow your movements.
I'm going to reach into the sack and just backhand him with a warhammer and cast Dismissal and send him back to his home plane.
What? Holy shit.
I want to cut back to the Lance resolving the attack. I want to cut back to just make me some rolls there for Gildan as well.
Yeah. Do I get advantage because it was unexpected?
Ooh, yeah, certainly unexpected. He's like completely not, and he is aggressively male as well. You know, like you. And it's just sort of like, you know, he thinks you're just like, oh, give me a gift. Yeah, he sits right up.
Yeah, I'm a little Gildan. So I got a 25 to hit. Right, 19 plus 6.
If he's observing, Denison now trusts Gildan.
We're not even inside yet.
I was gonna say it's gonna take y'all.
Oh, you're not inside yet? Okay.
Yeah, this is y'all are still.
We might have decided to actually go inside by now because he's been in there for a bit and we had a big conversation.
Yeah, 25 to hit. Let me see. 25 hits, just barely.
All right. I'd like him to make a charisma saving throw.
What's the DC on that?
15.
15. Yes, I got a 28.
How dare you? Well, he's not dismissed.
Okay. All right.
Good try though.
There's so you hit him with this with his warhammer, but everybody outside is still going through it. There's it's quiet in here before, but like everyone stops whispering. And let me see real quick. I need Gildan to make me a wisdom saving throw. In this case, the DC is going to be 23.
I got 23 on the dot.
Okay. So you can feel like he didn't cast anything, you didn't see anything happen, but you can feel his will kind of bear down on you. And it's one of those, like, you can tell that he is trying to take over your mind and force you out of your own mind. And as you kind of fight him off, he smirks. You have a spark in you. There might be a place for you at my court, but understand that displays like that, we prefer a more civilized approach here.
Well,
and he seems to be awaiting your response. He's definitely like sitting up and paying attention to Gildan.
I need to know everything about the monolith. And I need you to tell me.
You're going to have to wait in line for that one.
All right.
People over there are ahead.
I got a 25 to crack him across the face again. And
All
he's
right.
got to make another charisma saving throw, which he'll probably do very well.
Let's see.
I'm trifling with intense things, but I think if he beats me up and I beat him up a little bit, we'll come to respect each other.
You strike, and this time your hammer passes through an illusion, and he's like standing to the side of you. He's like, Gildan, I don't think that it's wise to continue that. And he, okay. All right, this is actually one where the tooltip doesn't tell me everything I need to know. I'm going to need another save from, oh no, this is a strength check. All right.
Strength check? I'm good at those.
There's an ability check. So I roll mine, you roll yours. I roll my spellcasting ability versus your strength. As you can feel him try to use kinetic force to just like swat you aside.
I got a 21.
All right. And let's see here. Rolled a 14. I do not know what my modifier is yet. Let me check. And well, of course it doesn't tell me. Let's see. Give me just a second. Look at that. All right. I got a 27 for mine.
All right. He swats me.
Okay. And you go sort of like flying across off the dais that the chair is sitting on. And he doesn't like smack you into a wall or anything. You just sort of like slide across this polished floor past the mummy aristocrats. And let's see here. So it's 30 feet that you're flung, and you are restrained until he stops concentrating on the spell. Does it look like you get a save every round?
Well, the funny thing about Gildan is he can be very difficult to restrain even through magical means.
Mm-hmm.
What Gildan does, though, even being restrained, is curlicues a blade barrier around him, and it should go up to the ceiling and just 90 feet thick, so this thing just kind of spirals around him like a nautilus shell, and it's just kind of like, all right, we can talk it out. Fiend to goblin, you have my respect.
There hasn't been this much excitement in the court for quite some time, but
They said you called for an entertainer.
Yes, well, and he sort of like looks over at the group of servitors and the like. It's not quite the entertainment I had expected, but I find that my blood is up. And you see him glance over at one of the mummy
You can't
aristocrats.
see anything because he is He only sees blades.
Well, he doesn't see from you, although he's got quite a bit of vision.
Yeah, I believe it.
But he glances at one of the mummy aristocrats, and the thing just turns to dust. Its ornamental headdress like clatters to the ground. Those of you outside can hear that. You can hear like a crash from something inside.
Oh, Gildan's inside.
And then I think let's end with the group outside, because you're nearing the end of your ceremony, and I think the exchange between Gildan and the demon deserves a bit of thought on my part. So let's end with the those of you in the skiff finished up your ceremony, and the doors open, and in front of you see a tall statuesque, clearly fiendish creature. Gildan's about 30 feet away. Well, a column of blades.
Well, I was gonna say it's like you have 90 feet worth it, and it goes all the way up to the ceiling, just whoop from the center, and just kind of spirals out, and it's like, hey.
And you hear it laughing in sort of like this. I'm not even mad about this kind of way, right? Like,
you hardly feel welcome unless someone calls you a son of a bitch here in this city.
Right, speaking at it, what are you? Those of you in the skiff do as you?
Myrrh would like to see because if this is some greater demon lord, she probably would recognize who it is, maybe. Just because know your enemy, demons and devils. So, can I make like a history check?
Yeah, a history check's fine. Yeah. About anybody else, Ninizen or Iki?
Ninizen will prepare themselves for the worst.
I do not know. How far away is the skiff?
Probably about 50 feet down some steps.
That's a really long way. Okay. Yeah. Icky is gonna go ahead. Has it been an hour? Have my giant bats disappeared?
It has not been an hour.
Okay.
Your giant bats are still around. It's like you might need 15 minutes left on them.
Yeah, I'm keeping up the giant bat spell, but I am gonna wild shape.
Okay.
Nice. Your first time?
Yeah, it is her first time, and it's very clumsy and very strange just to watch her change from a large lizard into a larger lizard. as she wild shapes into a giant lizard.
That's great. Blue would be proud.
Yeah.
She's not a very
she looks different.
Creative. Yeah, she's not a very creative. I will say she does have 6 legs. Like the riding lizard.
Nice.
It's like the only other giant lizard.
Giant lizard she's seen.
She's not a very creative.
That's great. No, that's great.
Like, yes, I want to be a lizard, but bigger. This, but bigger.
I love it.
All right. I think that's a good percent.
Oh man!
Anything that Ellie does, like in the last minute before, as you guys enter the palace, is Icky's turning into this giant lizard.
She's turning into a giant lizard. Sorry, my dogs were outside barking, and I'm just like dog mom mode, you know.
Am I a giant lizard or am I a smaller kaiju?
Small kaiju.
You decide.
Yes.
Interesting. And this. Oh, so this demon's just like, haha. This is like.
He's got like a silk vest on. He's kind of like Aladdin, right? But different, just like Aladdin-esque. And is tall, good looking. I mean, like he's nice. And clearly, like not just physically, but has like magic.
Only he wasn't.
Okay, yeah. Spoken like somebody who doesn't find men to be like
sure, yeah,
great to look at, but I will take it.
You guys, I'll let you fill in your own imagination. Anyway,
I have an idea, so but yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, changed my mind. Isaiah Mustafa from the early Old Spice commercials.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Both like horns.
Speaking of which, I got a 21 on that history check to see if I remember.
Tengrith. It's just like it's an archaic sort of pronunciation of another sort of like minor demon prince. This creature didn't even control a layer of the abyss. Right.
This is one of Grazit's kids.
It's,
Okay.
I mean, you know that he's, you know, he'd run in the similar circles, but nobody's heard from Grazitz in a long time.
It's been a long time. That's why, but he's pretty good looking. That's the only reason I question.
Yeah, something like that. So it's like Murr sort of like, oh, like moment. Icky's turning. I think now's a good time to
Perfect time. Just
close out the session.
Ellie looks confused.
You're right. As Tengrith, the demon lord of the city of Ghouls, faces off in a showdown with Gildan, prophet of the wastes. We really appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. This city is a product of my demented imagination and all other kinds of things. I've been waiting to showcase the city of Ghouls for a while, so I'm glad the party got there and has a chance to hang out there. Really appreciate you hanging out with us. Why don't we go around our group of fine players, see how they're doing, where we can find them online, what they're up to. Josh, got any updates for us? What are you up to?
These days, I am getting ready to vamp up my art stuff. I'm going to be posting some more stuff pretty soon here. Commissions are still kind of closed, but we'll see what happens in the next few weeks. Either way, check me out on Instagram or Twitter at Beard for Charity. I love you guys. See me there. Much love.
Word. There you go. And Anna.
Hello, I was really stressed out at the end there before I adrenaline rushed in because dogs, but I was like, oh no, Gildan can't die. Ellie can't do anything about this.
Gildan's okay. I worry about the rest of the party though.
He's resourceful.
Yeah, you guys are getting up there, right?
Ellie's just gonna she's gonna ask questions first, and then see what's up. She might call a friend for help.
And she might need to. Right?
Lifeline.
Yeah, lifeline.
But yeah, my name is Anna. You guys can find me places like Twitch as Cyborg Pizza, Twitter is Anna B Photo, and Instagram is Anna B Photo. I do stuff and things, so yeah, that's it.
Excellent. Stuff and things. Very good. And TK.
That's me. That's TK, and I'm always happy to bully other people into seeing the City of the Ghouls after I watch Jim drop Easter eggs in his shows. I'm like, joke's on you. You're not gonna trick me. I'll watch your show to spite you.
Listen, who knows? You know what? I put those things there just for you, just to throw you off.
I know.
Yeah.
You think I don't know?
That's the metagame.
I know that. First and foremost in your mind when you engage in your exceptionally successful and lucrative web series is, how will TK accept it? How will TK react?
Top 3 questions I ask myself every episode.
Oh, I know. What would TK say? We can't disappoint them. I write spooky stories. Yeah, exactly. Get your to steal a phrase from Grant. Get your bracelets. I write spooky stories on the internet. If you like spooky stories, you can read them at tkjwrites.com. I'm not updating them because I'm lazy and a liar. You can watch me stream stuff on Twitch. I have a whole schedule that I lie about on my pinned tweet thread on Twitter. TK joins the fray. It's great. If you like pictures of cats, you can see them on my Instagram. TK has joined the fray. More characters are allowed over there, so I use them. That's if you like spooky streams, then you can watch me tomorrow night on the Wizards Twitch channel. And I haven't prepped for it yet, even though I lied to my cast and told them that I already had. Sorry, Lisa and Kayla, who I know are in this chat.
Hell yeah, Miss Walkers.
I'll just put some more boneless in there, I guess. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Okay. Bye.
There you go. Top DMing secrets revealed only here on WebDM Twitch. Thank TK. Lindy.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I definitely imagine as we heard the crash go down and Mer's going through this ritual thing, she definitely takes her time And it's like, oh, Gilden's dead by the time we get there. Oh, that would just be such a shame. And then she got there and he's alive, and she's like, oh, great. Oh, that guy. Okay. So it's going to be intriguing next week because I don't know what Mura's going to do or how she's going to react. I think it's going to depend on how everyone else reacts. And then she's just going to try to damage control like she normally does. I feel like that's Mura's main job, is attempted damage control that just gets everybody out. Yeah, you can find me online at Laugh Love Lindy, where I typically do a little less damage control and cause more damage in other campaigns. I play in /demon about a dozen or so campaigns every week. On my channel, you can find me tomorrow from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern playing some Mouse Guard. It's a Learn to Play series. There's only 2 episodes left. And on Tuesday nights on my channel, I DM Mists of Ravenloft. We are currently on Night of the Walking Dead. It's a super funnable module, and shit's about to get real there, so it's a lot of fun. So check it out.
Excellent. And Grant.
Hey everybody, my name's Grant Ellis, and I'm an independent content creator for tabletop role-playing games. You can follow me on Twitter at WisePapaGrant to see my streaming schedule. I'm a producer here on WebDM Twitch, and my next streaming appearance will be Saturday on... actually, it'll be Friday. I guess I'm on Tales from the Grim tomorrow night, running Invisible Sun for the Grammar of the Dark campaign. I'll be on Encounter Roleplay running on Restful Hearts and the Guardian of Glory, which is a game system that I designed from the ground up specifically for streaming play. And I'm sorry, Charlie. It's not that I forgot. I got my weeks mixed up. It's because I saw Michael in chat. Follow me on Twitter to figure out my schedule. That's all I got.
Excellent. Go check everybody out, guys. If you haven't had a chance to see what our players are up to and all the awesome things they're doing, then now's your chance, right? And like I said, we really appreciate you guys hanging out with here and spending time in this strange, weird, and bizarre D&D world that we've created. Catch you guys later, and have a great weekend. Bye.